Welcome to Module 7, Unit 3. This is the first classroom. So, in this classroom, titled Management, Theory and Practice, we will learn about what management is, who is a manager, what are the roles and functions of a manager, and finally, leadership and how it is different from management. So, what is management? You must have all heard of various usages the word management is used. For example, we often complain saying, oh, this is a problem at the management level. Sometimes we say the management has taken a decision that a certain reform process will not be implemented or will be implemented in an organization. So, what really is management and what does it mean to be a management decision, or what does it mean to be a policy or a reform taken up by the management? Management can be defined based on various perspectives. One of the important perspectives from which management is defined is the emphasis on goal orientedness. So, management tends to be defined as an organized process. Notice the emphasis on organized, that guides the utilization of various resources. By resources, we mean human, financial, and material resources to meet a desired organizational goal, taking into consideration consumers' demands and the political and economic situation. So, as you can see, the definition of management borrows a lot from the world of business. So, because the profession of management comes to us from the more corporate and the for-profit business organizations. So, in this definition, the emphasis of management is on the goal. So, management tends to be a process and an organized process that guides the utilization of resources not for an end in itself, but to meet a desired organizational goal. And again, not just looking at the goal from within the organization, but taking into consideration the external forces. It could be consumer demands or clients' needs, as in the case of healthcare, as well as the larger political, economic and social situation in which the hospital or the health center or the health system is situated. But you can also look at management based on entirely the way in which resources are optimally used. So, in this perspective, management becomes a process which exists to get results by making the best use of human, financial and material resources available to the organization and individual managers. So, in this perspective, the emphasis is on the way the resources are used. So, this is much more a definition which looks at efficiency, which looks at optimal use of resources. So, that kind of perspective is incorporated in the second definition. So, according to this definition, it is concerned with adding value to these resources, and this added value depends on the expertise and commitment of people who are responsible for managing the business. Again, notice even in this definition, the origins of management within the world of business. So, I would again caution the participants to be careful while adapting these definitions, these concepts of management into healthcare. While clearly healthcare has a lot of commonalities with various other fields in the for-profit business industry, which include the fact that the health system as well as for-profit or corporate systems are also made of people, and people tend to behave in a certain way within organizations, and so the management principles ideally ought to be common between them. You must remember the earlier classes where we dealt with the values of a health system. So, what tends to make these definitions of management need adaptation for us is the fact that the health system has underlying values that ought to guide the choice of its goals. So, in a health system, if you look at what does management mean, when we look at the first definition of the emphasis on goal, remember here that the health system's goals is not necessarily always related to looking at people as consumers. The goal could also be delivering healthcare in a rights-based manner. Similarly, in the second definition, when we talk of the emphasis on resources, in a health system, it could also be on ensuring patient-centered care or integrated care, since we saw that these are very optimal use of resources. So, to summarize, management is defined as basically by both these definitions as a particular kind of process, a kind of approach that either makes best use of resources or guides organizations towards a particular goal. So, if you come to the person behind, because management, the way we have defined, it seems to be very distant, as if it's out there. But who is a manager? So, who is a person? The person who is a manager, what is it that he does that brings about this kind of a process within organizations? I'm sure many of the participants of this course are yourselves playing managerial roles within your own organizations. Let's look at how conceptually a manager is conceived. So this term you are all clearly familiar with. One of the important requirements in an organization is what we call administration. So administration is at the level of implementing the rules, regulations, guiding people within the organization towards following particular rules, regulations and policies. So it's very important to understand the boundaries of what is called administration and the person who is an administrator. Whereas a manager is somebody who is usually conceived as being above the administrator. Remember, I am defining these roles as if they are separate people. In a given organization, the same person may play the role of an administrator, may play the role of a manager. To give you an example, in a hospital, a person, an authority or a designation who checks registers on a daily basis and ensures that the attendance is marked before 10 a.m. An authority who conducts rounds in the hospital to check whether the cleanliness has been maintained is playing administrative role. Whereas a managerial role could involve, for example, we will come to this later, but chairing meetings and ensuring debriefing co-workers, resolving conflict between particular two staff and ensuring that the conflict doesn't affect work. These are managerial roles. So when I use the word roles, what I mean here is that the same person who is chairing a meeting and resolving conflict and thus playing managerial roles could also be every morning checking the attendance register and making rounds in the hospital to maintain cleanliness, which is an administrative role. So theoretically speaking, or rather in textbooks, the roles of an administrator and that of a manager are given this distinction, and it is useful to make this distinction within organizations. There's also yet another role, which is that of the governance. So the governance is a much larger role. Governance is related to guiding or being answerable to the overall management of the organization. It is at the level of policy making, it's at the level of oversight over the entire organization, and this is the level at which accountability of the entire system comes in. For example, the board of governors or the board of a hospital is at the level of governance. Again, the same person may be playing administrative roles, managerial roles, as well as being involved in governance. So it's important for us to understand the distinction between these three roles, but not necessarily played by different people. So what are management functions? So remember, by functions we mean the activities, the tasks that a manager performs. In the previous example where we made a distinction between administration, management and governance, we already introduced some of these functions of a manager. So as a manager, one plays the role of a coordinator. So you are coordinating between and among the various departments, the various individuals working in your organization. You are also at the level of an evaluator. You undertake evaluations Remember, evaluation is different from monitoring, and which we will come to in a later module. So as an evaluator, you are looking back at the overall performance in a given time period in the past and then taking up corrective action for the future. You are clearly involved with financial management if you are a manager. You are also guiding people so that, remember the definition of management, so that the organization is moving closer to the goal towards which it was supposed to be going. You are also monitoring, and you are also ordering and storing. By ordering, we mean here clearly, to not give a misconception, we are not talking of giving orders to people, but rather bringing about order and bringing about an organized way of arrangement within the organization. We are also talking of planning, recording and reporting, staffing, which involves human resource management, and of course supervision. And remember, again here, supervision is not about inspection, which means you go and try to find out faults, whereas supervision is more about watching and understanding where the gaps are in the performance of your staff, supporting them to improve their performance, what is also called as supportive supervision. So then it becomes important to distinguish between roles and functions. So what we saw here in the previous few slides are the functions, the various tasks or activities that the manager plays. Like we saw earlier, the roles are slightly different. So the role is different from function. To give you an example, a manager may be playing a managerial role within an organization, whereas the same person could play the role of a parent in his house. So in this case, within these roles, various functions are, as a manager, he may be playing the function of coordination, of organizing, of supervising, etc. Whereas in the role of a parent, he may be playing the role of a friend, of a guide, of a companion, etc. So earlier, what we saw on administration, governance and manager, all of these are roles. So within manager, as a manager itself, there are various roles that a person plays. So there are roles related to decision making for the manager. So a manager plays sometimes the role of an entrepreneur, so who is able to, or who has the ability to make strategic or smart decisions to allocate resources or to spend monies in a certain direction such that his organization benefits. So some of these decision making roles include also resource allocation, again a strategic role. And what do I mean by strategic role? What I mean is that this is a role at the level of deciding the broad direction in which his hospital or health center should go, and not merely a routine day-to-day decision. So he also plays information roles. So the idea of a manager being a supervisor, a disseminator, a monitor, an evaluator, these are all roles related to compiling, analyzing and assessing of information. But most importantly, a manager also plays a variety of interpersonal roles. So here comes the roles such as that of a mentor, a manager being a mentor for many of the junior colleagues, a leader. That means that he is able to help his co-workers forget interpersonal differences and bring them together as a team. Somebody who is able to handle disturbance, somebody who is a figurehead, a person who people outside the organization look on to as the representative of that organization. So these are various interpersonal roles. And of course, enjoys formal authority and status for playing all these roles. So one of the important resources included in this module, in this classroom for all of you, is this handbook by Management Sciences for Health, dated 2005, titled Managers Who Lead, a Handbook for Improving Health Services. I would encourage all of you to look up specific chapters which are of interest or which are within the line of work you are in from this book. There is plenty of very practical tools as well as various concepts that will help you understand and practice management. So one of the important inputs in this book is the fact that health systems require motivated leader managers. So we will soon try to understand what we mean by management and leadership. But before we go on, this quotation where it says, medical knowledge exists to reduce illness and death caused by preventable diseases. Applying knowledge and scaling up evidence-based practices requires strong health systems with skilled and motivated leader managers who can support and motivate the health workforce. So remember, the gist is that as you ascend, as you increase in seniority and experience in your organizations, you are stepping into managerial roles where you are increasingly required to play the role of leader managers. So somebody who is able to motivate and bring about a change within the functioning of your organization, and you are expected to steer, to lead your organizations towards better and better outcomes and towards more and more improved quality of health services. So what are the challenges of health sector managers? I think this is slightly important because most of the literature out there on the internet is about management in the corporate or for-profit business industry. And the health system, as we have seen in several of the earlier modules, differs a bit from many other for-profit industries. One is that the health sector is labor intensive with a lot of expenditure happening on personnel, happening on people compared to various other fields, and managing people within healthcare becomes a very important part of a health manager's job. Second is the fact that the health system has a very diverse range of providers. So you have variety of medical specialists, you have physiotherapists, you have various kinds of health workers whom we were introduced to in the earlier module on human resources, and each of these are professional disciplines in their own merit. For example, nurses are by their own merit a professionalized discipline, so are dentists, so are doctors, so are various other cadres of health workers, and so there's this enormous diversity and there's various hierarchies that come into play, which increases the difficulty in managing these people in a coordinated fashion, because as a manager, that's what you ought to do. You ought to improve the coordination between and among all these people, and the diversity only contributes to the confusion. And thirdly, unlike a for-profit business industry, a health system exists within a larger societal responsibility, where a health system is expected to deliver in a certain way. It's expected to cater to several demands. It's expected to deliver entitlements if you are in the government health services, for example. So it's a subject of public interest, I would say, not necessarily only complaint. So this casts a negative aspersion. So it's a subject of public interest, and hence, of course, public complaint, but a larger public interest exists in the health services. And so this complicates, or this rather increases the challenge of better management. And of course, there's the resource crunch. Unlike a for-profit business industry where you are looking more and more towards improving profits, in health sector, you're invariably trying to optimize within the current resources more and more work. You're trying to improve efficiency a lot of the time. So the resource crunch is always at play, putting more and more challenges on the management and leadership style. And because as a result of all of this, you end up in complex relationships between and among the various cadres of people, between societies and healthcare organizations, between hierarchies across healthcare organizations, etc. So all of these together contribute to the challenge of management in healthcare organizations. So this recalls the earlier, I think during the health systems classroom we had covered this interplay between, usually what is seen as management is the system hardware, the human resources, the finance, the medicines, then technology, the organizational structure, the infrastructure, the health management information systems. These are all the hardware, what you see. But what management deals with most of the time is the software. The fact that people within the organizations have their own ideas and interests. There are various relationships and power imbalances between and across people, and the fact that values and norms differ between and across people. So, one of the key principles of management is this need to understand that what you see outwardly, this hardware, is closely interlinked to the software, the various ideas, interests, relationships, power between and among people. So, as a manager, you ought to balance the hardware and software of these systems very carefully.